Okay, so I've been wanting to try jujitsu for a while. Yesterday was my first jujitsu class. I'm going to tell you a bit about it in case you're wondering if you should start jujitsu. So, a bit of background, bit of context. I started kickboxing about a year and a half ago, but I've always wanted to learn grappling, right? Never really knew much grappling, never really was any good at it. And all the grappling I knew, all the jiu-jitsu I knew was just from friends and from videos and instructionals like that, but nothing formal, no actual technique training. Well, I finally got a friend that just basically pushed me into taking the next step. He told me to join a class. So anyways, I got out of the gym, got a rash guard from Amazon, RDX, this black rash guard, and I said, fuck it, let's go see what happens. So I went, and here are my observations. Number one, the culture. It's pretty cool. There's like a little family per se. I don't know if that's at every gym. I'm supposing it is, but I don't know. At my gym, there was like a little family of jiu-jitsu. They're not actually related, obviously, but they're just 20, 30 people who always go to the classes, and they just have lots of fun. They know each other. They banter, all that. It was really cool, even with the coach. Number two, the amount of cardio that you need for grappling is nuts. Like, I never thought being on the ground would be so tiring. It's fucking crazy. I remember on the first grappling class I had, yesterday was my first jiu-jitsu class, but the first grappling class I had, which was the day before that, I was wrestling with this guy, and oh my gosh, I was dead. Like, I got home and I felt like I had a concussion because I was so tired. Like, my lungs were burning. I haven't had that feeling in a while, of when your lungs literally burn. Observation number three, jiu-jitsu is like an infinity of moves. I know everybody says fighting is like chess, 100%. Striking has 6 punches, some kicks, right? And you just combine them together. But in jiu-jitsu, there's basically an infinity of moves that you could do. It's just series after series after series, and there's systems. And striking there's also that. But jiu-jitsu, I feel, is like so much more variable. There's so many more moves. And don't get me wrong, I love kickboxing. Like, I'm a fan of kickboxing. That's my main thing. But jiu-jitsu is like literally chess on the ground, which is crazy. And if you add wrestling and sambo and judo to that, you go off the charts. There's so many things. Observation number 4. I never knew that. I never even thought that a girl would be able to submit me. And now I'm starting to think, oh shit, if the girl's pretty high level, even if I'm stronger than her, yeah, she might submit me. Which, to be fair, it's pretty hard just because of the pure strength. Like, for example, there was this girl in class who was pretty good level, technically at least, and she was rolling with a 15-year-old kid. She had a pretty hard time submitting him, and he's 15 and he doesn't know anything. And it's because of strength. But honestly, like, if a girl's good enough, leg locks, arm bars, there's nothing you can really do, right? So yeah, jiu-jitsu class was super cool. I recommend anybody join it, especially if you're one of those people that are scared to join martial arts because you're scared of getting hit or you don't want to get brain damage, which is kind of stupid because unless you're sparring very hard and you have no guidance, you're not going to get brain damage unless you really want to. But if you have that, mindset or whatever, you just don't like the idea of getting hit, join jiu-jitsu. It's super, super, super fun, and it's almost like addicting. Also, if you're very analytical, if you're very technical, you'll also love jiu-jitsu because it's mostly technique. Like, obviously there's strength and there's size, but it's mostly technique. Like, you'll see 130-pounders submitting 200-pounders, which is crazy to me, right? Because in kickboxing, it happens, but it's much less common. Like, if a guy weighs 200 pounds, you don't really want to spar him. And jiu-jitsu is a bit different. So if you're a very analytical person, you're going to love jiu-jitsu. What else can I say about jiu-jitsu? I don't know, it's cool. It's like you feel like you're Charles Oliveira. You feel like you're a snake. Like, once you learn all the different moves, you realize that there's a whole new dimension to fighting. And coming from a striking background, it's pretty refreshing, right? Because I always knew that my weakness was the ground, but I feel like if I keep on doing jiu-jitsu and incorporate wrestling with my kickboxing, I'll feel so much more complete. And I'll feel like instead of me having to defend it, I can actually attack on the ground too. So if I can be an amazing striker and I also know my shit on the ground, I'm obviously going to become a better fighter. It's going to be harder to stop me. I want to commentate really quick on the idea that jiu-jitsu doesn't work for the street. It was popularized probably by Andrew Tate, and while I agree because of the fact that they can pull a knife, etc., I also don't agree because a lot of fights, if you look on Twitter, if you look at the street fights, they just go to the ground, and a lot of them don't have weapons. And of course, you can bite and everything, but if there's two people and one person has done 10 classes of jiu-jitsu and one person hasn't, both people can bite, both people can, take their eyes out, gouge eyes. I'm betting on the person who's been doing jiu-jitsu. Like, it's a very technical skill to have, and lots of people don't know what they're doing when they're fighting, striking wise, right? Because we put our chins up and we swing like this. Imagine on the ground. We have our mind, our brain has zero instincts of what to do on the ground. Zero. It's completely wrong. So as soon as you know some jiu-jitsu, like some concepts, some basics, like never giving your back, guard, all that, keeping their limbs. So as soon as you know that and some submissions, like you're levels ahead of a person who doesn't know. So that'll keep you safe in a street fight for sure. Obviously, you never really want to go to the ground unless you're great at jiu-jitsu, in which case, be my guest. But I personally would never want to go to the ground in a street fight. But yeah, all in all, jiu-jitsu's pretty cool, super effective. And I feel like I'm not gonna take a break from kickboxing, but I'm definitely gonna be focusing a lot on jiu-jitsu. I have a busy schedule, but I'm trying to do like 2-3 classes a week. I'm gonna start doing, and yeah, just see where it goes, and I'll give you some updates. But you should probably go on this journey with me, start jiu-jitsu, so you can progress also. See you, bro.